guessing there's no music playing.
Fuck the music.
Fuck the music. We give up. I like it. That's all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nerdentity Crisis, episode 136. I'm your host, Ryan By, joined as always by Mr. Adam Lovar,
Hello, hello.
my literal brother from another mother, Justin Picklemans.
Howdy do. That
We got
didn't
like
go
a
through.
Little
half.
bit.
There was a
Little
little
crack.
bit, very beginning. So, and finally, Josh. Still have not thought of a good nickname for him yet, Huffman.
Hello. Hello.
How's everybody doing, boys?
I am doing fabulous.
Doing marvelous.
Marvelous. It has been a hot minute since we've talked video games, so I'm excited. I'm excited
Yeah, and
about them.
I dropped the ball and realized I never uploaded the last episode of Nerds in
Death in
Space.
Space. Oh, nice.
So I did that this morning.
Oh, well, there you go. Now maybe
So-
some you get a twofer this week. A little twofer. That's all right. So
Yep.
But we skipped a week, so it's like you get 2 in 3 week span.
yeah, yep.
I don't know if that's a deal or not.
Yeah, not really. Not so
Yeah,
much.
we're like the most unreputable podcast in
Yeah,
existence. But
pretty much. That's all right.
thanks to all those that.
I mean, there's
still
probably
tune in.
been ones that haven't lasted as long as us, so I feel like
That's very
got
true.
above that. So
That's very true. Yeah, 136 episodes. That's not bad.
That's not
Not even
bad at all.
including.
all the random
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. So we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're doing it because it's fun. So, I am excited to talk about video games because it has been a while, and I've been playing quite a bit. And I know who we got to start with because I hear there's a member of our group who never plays any fucking games who actually played some fucking games. So, Josh, why don't you kick us off?
I didn't play it. No, so yes, I actually played some games for once. I have played a handful of things. First one is I bought Armored Core,
Oh yeah,
the
okay.
giant mech like
how is it?
from Soft game. It's super good.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
from
Super good.
software.
It's
Yeah.
also crushingly difficult on the
Perfect.
settings I've got right now. And so, but if it feels a lot more like quick and fast paced than like a Souls game typically would be, but it still requires a lot of like dodging, typically with in this case with like power slides and boosts
Seems
and
like
things.
strafing is a big thing in it
Yeah.
from what I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got like, and you can like rocket jump, like with jetpacks, and like so movement and dodging things is very very important, but not in the same way that a Souls game is. But it just makes for very like fluid combat. The other thing that is you have like a, I'm just gonna use Gundam terms here because that's the only thing I know. You have like a beam saber, and words cannot express how satisfying it is to like there's like 5 dudes and you're like strafing back and forth, like shooting down, you shoot rockets at the outside too, you shoot, the two like middle ones with normal bullets, and then you just like gut, like loin to jaw with the like beam saber, the last one, and you feel like a god. um but yeah, it's challenging, or I'm bad, or both. Probably both. Uh, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. Definitely worth looking into if that is your type of thing.
That's a sale game for me.
Same. I've got it on my wish list, waiting for a good sale.
Yeah. I also played Sea of Stars. It's a game I
Yeah,
backed on
that's on my list.
Kickstarter quite a while ago. It's now on Game Pass, if you guys have that. But it is like a turn-based RPG, and it's got some interesting mechanics. So, for instance, when an enemy is going to cast a spell, you can counter that or stop them from casting by hitting them with particular types of attacks. So, if it has like 2 swords and 2 hammers, then you need 2 good sword attacks and 2 like staff attacks. And
Okay.
sometimes you'll get like an explosion symbol or a moon symbol, which are different types of spells. and so you have to kind of use your MP.
Strategically.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing that's kind of interesting is like when it's your turn, you can just select any of your characters. They all have to go before they can go again, but you can go in any order that you want. So sometimes it's good to like, uh, if you need to heal really quickly, you just switch to the person that can heal, and you don't have to like wait for their turn per se. The other kind of mechanic that they added was when you hit enemies, then they generate particles, and then you can absorb those particles to get an increase on the next thing you do, whether that be a heal or damage or whatever it might be. So sometimes you want to hit with someone you don't want to use to generate the particles so that you can use them on the character you do want to use.
Interesting.
But every time a character plays, then like these tickers on each enemy goes down by one, and then when it hits 0, they get their turn to attack you. And so sometimes to set up like a perfect attack, you need like 3 actions, but they have a ticker of 2, and you're like, okay, I'm just not going to be able to defeat this in the amount of time. Um, the last thing I'll mention regarding the combat is that there's also like timing based, both in your attacks and defenses. So imagine Paper Mario, like
Okay.
where if you hit the A button right as Mario jumps on the Goomba,
I always
then like
loved that mechanic.
yeah, just like gives it some
Like Mario RPG. Like that's
yeah
where I
yeah
feel
yeah
like
yeah
where it like originated from. But that was so
Or
yeah.
good.
Legend of Dragoon even? Yeah.
So I personally like Legend of the Dragoon the most because I was better at it. But that's because there was like a visual representation
Yes.
of the
Right.
timing. There is no visual representation of the timing other than you just swing your sword.
Okay, gotcha.
Um, and so it does make it harder for me who has no timing whatsoever.
Right.
Because you're just like, is he gonna swing? Is he gonna swing? Oh, he swung. I'm too late. And each one of the enemies have different kind of attack patterns, so you kind of have to like figure that out. Like figure out the good timing for it. But it's really really good. I'm not super far into it. I'm 3 or 4 hours, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But so far I'm really really enjoying it. Um, I haven't played a really good turn-based RPG in quite some time, so
Hell
it's
yeah.
it's nice to go back to it. The last thing that I played that I can
3 for
remember.
Josh. That's impressive.
I
Right.
know, I know. I mean, granted, it's been 3 weeks since we last talked games,
Still,
but
you've
but
had more
still,
games in this episode than the last 3 months, so
I would probably more than three
yeah, it
months.
might be. Yeah.
Like it's gonna be amazing because when we do our game of the year, I was just not gonna have a game because I haven't played
Right.
a new game all year. But now I got like 3 new games.
God damn.
Uh, yeah. So the last game I played that I can think of was Death Bulge: Battle of the Bands. It's another game that I kickstarted because I have a problem. Um, and uh, it's
It
also
looks
kind of
interesting.
yes, and I'm trying to remember. I I'm trying to remember the the like web comic, the like author who's making it. But essentially, you are a band, like band members, and you are joining the Battle of the Bands. But when you join the Battle of the Bands, you get cursed, where music can hurt you, but you can also hurt things with music. Um, and the interesting mechanic with it is you have like essentially 4 cells, and the characters will move across them, and when it finishes, that's when you get your attack. So the speed at which you move, you could get maybe in multiple attacks in the time that the enemy does, if your movement is like quicker across it, which different equipment will get that. But then you could play music that, for instance, inflicts 2 cells of pain on them. So out of the 4 cells that the enemy has, 2 of them will be filled with pain, which will do essentially like dot damage as their cursor moves through it. Or you can, like put webs on it, and then it'll just like move super slow through those. And so constantly re-upping your own, like buffing your own cells to give you bonuses, and then debuffing the enemy is really important. And then you also need to switch between characters because they all have the different stats and different abilities. So I'm only maybe an hour into it thus far, but it's pretty funny, like very quirky. But but so far, so really really good. I think it only came out like August, so it's not very old yet. But
Cool. Hell yeah, 3 games. Congratulations, Josh. That's awesome.
thank you, thank
The
you.
soundboard of like the
I
applause. Do we have
Right.
that? Do we have that in
You-
queue?
We
You'll
probably
now
Now we're-
have. Do we?
I
Really?
mean,
Oh, never
No.
mind. You will now have 3 games to talk about when we do Game of the Year, so that's exciting.
yeah, I'm looking at my like Steam library here, and I'm like, uh, would I have been able to have a game this year, but other than these? And I think the answer might have been no.
It's Sons of the
God.
Forest or whatever.
Was that this year?
There you go.
Oh, there we go. We got. Was that just the soundboard?
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I forgot. Justin and I also played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Shredder's Revenge. That's
Yeah, we
fun.
got through like 7 levels, 6 or 7
There you
Oh,
go.
levels.
nice.
Yeah. It's very like Turtles in Time
Oh, yeah.
esque. And
Awesome.
if you like those kind of like beat 'em up games like Double Dragon or Battletoads,
Hell yeah.
very
Yeah,
very good.
it was a very good game. I liked it. All right, cool. Justin, we'll go to you next. What have you been playing?
So TMNT with Huff, and then since we haven't chatted in a while, I've got one other video game, but I'll save that for last. I had the board game Smartass.
Hmm.
I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's got like a
Yes.
donkey's face, or maybe even played it. It's like a family game, but I got it from Marissa's mom or grandma for our first Christmas together. And it was in the shrink wrap, and Marissa and I were bored one night and decided to play it. And we played like, it's pretty quick with 2 people, but we played like
Yeah.
6 or 7 games just back to back. It was quite a bit of fun. We laughed a lot. And then Huff and I played Guild Ball. Finally, I've been trying to get that painted for a while so we could finally play, and we've now played 2 games that we've finished 0 of, just because we run out of time. But we've gotten further.
We're learning a lot those
Yeah.
games though.
Yeah. And then Huff and I started a different RPG with a different buddy called Werewolves: The Apocalypse, which is a World of Darkness game. So same world as Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah,
But
didn't
you're
they have a video game
werewolves.
that came out too for that? Or no?
Not
And
that
I
I'm
feel like
aware of.
feel like it was terrible, but I could be wrong. Anyways, it sounds very familiar at least.
Apocalypse video game. I don't see anything.
Okay, I'm wrong. That's
Werewolf
fine.
the Apocalypse, Earthblood.
That's fine.
But yeah, anyways, so that one is a. Oh, this game just came out in 2022, and it's mostly positive.
What, the video game?
Yeah.
Yeah, Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
about. But at least from reviews I saw, I thought it looked pretty bad. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
The
I
recent
thought that
reviews are
sounded really
mostly
familiar.
positive, and all reviews are mostly positive.
Oh, well, there you go. Might be one to
Uh,
check out then.
Yeah, that's gonna go ahead and go on to my wish list. But
Well, I'm glad I'm
anyways,
not going crazy. All right, go ahead.
so that one is just kind of funny because I've wanted to play Vampire the Masquerade RPG for literal years,
Yeah, years.
and um, not like the video game one, but the actual tabletop or role playing game. Like I've wanted to play that. I probably wanted to play that before I even wanted to play D&D, and I've just never known anyone. And found someone who that's all he knows is the Werewolf the Apocalypse. Really, he's got like every book that's ever come out. It's insane.
Hmm.
And he offered to be our Huff and I storyteller. So
Yep.
we started that on Saturday. We're just gonna do it monthly. If either of you want in, you could. Adam, it's not as far for you, but it's been a lot of fun. It's you only use D10s. It's you don't need a board. It's very death and spacey, but like in like we're playing in our area of North Liberty, Cedar Rapids, and we went down to Florida. But like you're using essentially like it's 2023,
Oh, cool.
so it's just kind of cool to know the locale that you're talking about. But anyways, last actual video game, I did snag that Middle Earth Shadow of War
Oh
on
yeah.
that Fanatical bundle and played that for a total of maybe close to 10 hours. I played quite a bit this weekend.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, I get where you're coming from, that it is repetitive and whatnot, but as of now, I'm just kind of blowing through the story to see
There
how
you go.
far I can get before I get bored.
Right.
Um, but it also came with the expansions. I started with one of the expansions, which you're like an elf chick,
Yeah.
and it didn't give you any like intro to anything. So I was
Do
like,
you have no idea what's? Yeah.
where's my guide? And then I realized when I was looking at the skills that it gives you a fuck ton of the skills from the original game. Like you already know all those, and then
Oh.
there's even more to learn. So I was like, I started reading through them, and I was like, I need to go back to the actual game. And so like I didn't realize why I had ally orcs running around with me, and I was
Right.
just so
Right.
confused. So now I'm to the point where I can summon soldiers and have more of these abilities, so it's making more sense. But it's fun. I really like that was my favorite part about the Assassin's Creed games is just walking into a giant battle and just getting your timing right, and then 5 minutes later there's just fucking countless dead bodies all around you, and
Yep.
you just
Yep.
walk away like, yeah. So it scratches that itch for me. But again, I don't know how long I'll play, but it was so cheap on that bundle that it was worth it to me.
There you go. Hell yeah. Quick sidebar. Speaking of, you brought up Assassin's Creed. They just released new gameplay for Assassin's Creed Mirage that's coming out. I've never wanted to play a game less. I just like they they were like talking about like back to basics. That was their thing, right? Like we're going back to basics with this game. And then I'm watching this gameplay, and at one point you can teleport and kill people. Like you can teleport through time and stab someone in the back, and I'm like, oh fucking A, what happened to Assassin's Creed? Like
What part
Jesus.
of being Nightcrawler do you not understand? That
Uh,
sounds dope. Teleportation sounds sick.
I don't know. I don't know about that. All right, Adam, what have you been playing?
Should we just get the one out of the way?
Oh, let's save that till last.
Save that one till last. Okay.
Yeah.
So I played the one that shall not be named until last, and got to a point where I was like, I need something else to like take my mind off of it.
Right.
But I was still kind of feeling the Bethesda wave, so I got Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh, nice.
And has anyone here played that yet?
I have not.
No.
I love it so
Okay.
far.
All right. All right.
Love the Japanese theme of it. The story is really cool. Really digging it. The the first person shooter whatever kind of mechanic loop of it is really fun. It starting to get to the point where it kind of feels a little bit of like a collectathon though. There's a lot of like things to find within the city and some of them are really challenging to get to and almost a little Metroidvania-ish where you have to come back cuz you don't have like certain powers or something. But man, what a sleeper of a game. Loving
Okay.
it so far. It's
Okay.
like very good.
And it's Game Pass, right? 'Cause it's
Yeah, it's on
Bethesda.
Game Pass. That's the only
All right.
reason why I grabbed it because
Right.
I was like, "Oh, Game Pass." I've been like it's been on my wish list for a while, but I haven't pulled the trigger because it's just been too expensive.
Right.
And I tried it, and I was like, "Ooh, I might get this game
There you
at some
go.
point." Like, it's very fun, very cool, creepy at points, like funny at points. Like, it's just very well done. Highly
Nice.
recommend.
I didn't realize it was on Game Pass because yeah, it's been in my Steam wish list since it
Yeah,
came out. But if it's on Game Pass,
you should try it, Josh. I think you would especially love it.
I mean, I remember watching the trailer at like what GamesCon or whatever it
Hmm.
was, and just being like, "Ooh, ooh,
It's
this
it's
seems
real
right up
good.
my alley."
It's real good. It's got a lot of fun Japanese lore, like
The
some of the
yokai and
yeah, exactly. It starts going into that a lot. But anyway, the other thing besides the one we'll talk about later, Sea of Thieves, man, it's just still got its hooks in me. It's so fun. Myself, two buddies at work, and Kat, like we play that shit like every night. Like we've got a
Nice.
solid crew. There's been like events after events. Like last week was Legends Week, so every like Athena thing was like double loot and reputation, and the seas were just crazy. We had so many steals and like so many fun adventures because we're getting to the point where we're just like rolling up on people and just unless we find someone that's like, really good, which has been rare. But like usually we just sink everyone and we
There
take
you go.
everything, and it's so much fun. And they're doing a week like event right now called like Wish You Were Here, and you have to like go to all these like different places and do certain of like things, and then you can eventually get this pretty cool tattoo, which I unlocked this weekend.
Sweet.
So yeah, it's
All
just
right. Yeah.
plundering that booty.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Hey,
All
and
right.
by the way, tomorrow is Talk Like a Pirate Day, September
Is it
19th.
really?
So everyone talk like a fucking pirate.
That'll be
Um,
a fun day at work.
in chat, Sacred Rabbit is asking you to tell us the story where he was teaching you how to be a true pirate.
So Sacred Rabbit also got the game, and I guess we sailed like once, and so I was trying to teach him the ways of the sea. It's
The
taken a little bit of
ways
time.
of the
The
sea.
first night he tried to play, like he didn't have a microphone, so that was very challenging. And one of our crewmates was being quite loud and a little intoxicated, so it was probably even more hard for him to
Dude,
learn.
you can
But the
just
next
say
time, him and I just slooped, and it was fine.
Cam's name out loud. It's fine.
I mean, I plead the fifth. Uh,
As soon as you said intoxicated and loud, I was like, "Yep."
every crew needs one, man. It keeps the spirits high with spirits.
All right.
So real quick, before you go into Thou That Shall Not Be Named Yet, I just want to say I looked up the reviews of this werewolf game, and almost every single person recommends it, but I'm not really sure why. Because all of them are like, this game is mediocre, it has potential, but lacks in execution. I found the game enjoyable personally, but also annoying. That's basically the gist of every single one of these reviews that are all recommending it. So it must have a charm, or these people are White Wolf or Werewolf
Right.
fans
like
of
Right.
the
fanboys.
role
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing. So like all of them are even saying it's not a great game, but it fills the void if you want
That's
to.
hilarious.
And they said transforming into a werewolf gives off going Super Saiyan vibes.
Ooh,
So
there you go.
that
There you
does
go.
sound fun.
Nice.
This review really, really narrows it down. It's better than Twilight.
There we go.
Setting that
Uh,
bar nice and low.
So is
yeah,
almost everything.
yeah, yeah. Really like narrowing out a whole bunch of content there. The
Right.
rest of the Twilight series,
Yeah. All right. Let's get on to I've only been playing one game, and it's a game three of us are going to talk about. Justin, you can just get some popcorn. You can just sit back and relax.
I got plenty
Uh,
to talk about. I've been
you
reading all
played it?
kinds of stuff.
Oh,
No,
you've been reading. Okay. All right. So I have only been playing Starfield. That is it. I am probably 35 hours in at this point.
I should have checked.
Um, I I got a lot to say about this game. Is this game perfect? No, it is not. No, not even close. It has some major faults. I will say that. Am I enjoying my time with it? I absolutely am. I'm having a great time playing this game. So I'm interested to see what you guys think. Um, so I guess Josh, you played a little bit. About how long into it are you? An hour?
Ooh, I'm not even out of like the like
Prologue?
prologue. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Or if I am, I'm barely out of it. But uh, it's fine
Yeah,
thus
okay.
far. Like maybe it's because it's still early, right? I can't judge an entire game based off of its prologue,
Right.
but I mean, it feels like a Bethesda game.
Yes.
It behaves like a Bethesda game. The writing is very Bethesda game, and I realized pretty quickly that I was going to spend a lot of time talking and stealing as much anything that's not bolted down. I will steal in that game, and there is so much shit to steal in that
Learn
game.
that in the first room when you get
Y-
control. You're like, oh
Yep.
my god, I can take everything.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so I I would like to spend more time playing, and I think I will, but it's not been a priority, if that
Gotcha.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
like like if I need to choose between Armored Core and Starfield, Armored Core is significantly more enticing to me currently.
Gotcha.
So I'll probably play it again in the future, but I'm gonna have to finish Armored Core before I invest too much time into it.
Okay, cool. Adam, about how much playtime you got?
I don't know. I'm up to like level 17 or 18, maybe something like that.
Okay, so you're a ways. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I thought about like how to structure this, like pros, cons, or whatever, but there's just too much shit going on. Uh, I'm just gonna open this by saying this game is fucking huge, like almost to an overwhelming degree. Uh, Especially until you kind of get into a rhythm. I am 35 hours into this game, have not touched the main quest one time. Not one time. Uh, and I have enough side quests currently that I'm not going to touch it for probably another 15 hours, if not longer, until I kind of get through all this stuff. So this game's fucking huge. It's just fucking huge. I think it's the biggest kind of Bethesda game ever made. Um, and I consider that to be both a pro and a con, in my opinion. Like, I like it, but at some point it's just like, ooh boy. There are some kind of meaningless shit you can just sidestep. Like when Todd Howard was talking about it and saying how many planets there are or whatever, you absolutely do not need to go visit everyone. Like most of it's a giant waste of time. If you can find resources other ways. There's no need to go to a barren planet and mine shit for no reason. Even the planets that have like outposts and stuff, most of it's not really worth your time. You might get a fetch quest, but otherwise, it's not really worth your time. I will say, kind of the structured part of the game is outstanding, and that's where I'm having a really good time. From the get go, like you get to a point after the prologue, without spoilers, where you can recruit someone to join you, and then you continue on to the main quest, or you can say, "Hold off, I don't want to do this right now. I'll be back." I actually chose to hold off, and I'll be back. And then from there, you can just kind of go do whatever you want. And I joined the UC Vanguard, which is kind of like I don't know, the military police, kind of a little bit, like a volunteer or whatever. Got my first mission. And then I went off on that mission where they have these things called terramorphs, and they're essentially the death claws. That's what they are. It's a death claw, just in this world. But you go to this outpost, and I'm like level 3, and you have to take down this terramorph, and you do it by sneaking around the outpost and activating all these mini turrets, getting it to chase you as you run down the kill lane, and then the turrets take it out or whatever. I was like, that's fucking cool. Like, the stuff that they set up story wise really is a lot of fun. Like, I'm really having a good time with it. Um, so I think that's probably the highest point. Is like I can't wait to see where this goes next. That's what I very much enjoy about it. Adam, has that been your experience?
From a phrase Josh likes to use, the game has been wildly mediocre, in my opinion.
Okay, all right. So what do
Kind of like what
you?
Josh said. It's very much a Bethesda game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they played it so safe on everything.
Okay.
And it's just like, I don't know, the story. I went with the main story. Have been doing a
Okay.
lot of that with side stuff here and there, and it kind of just feels like a Skyrim or something, like the story, but it's in space. Like, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. It's a little cliche, I guess, at points. And
Right.
there has been definitely points where it's been like, funny Bethesda humor. I found myself like chuckling out loud, like when certain things happen, which is good. But like, I cannot play this game in the amount of like length that I could Skyrim for some
Right.
reason.
Right.
Like Skyrim, I remember getting lost for like 10 hours in VR and be like, where did the day go?
Yes.
Like, I played VR for that long. Like,
Right.
this, like, I play for a couple hours and then it's just, I need to like step away
Right.
because I just get bored. And I think
So
a lot of the problem was like, I feel like they kind of brought in a sort of an open world experience, and it's not that at all whatsoever.
so I
I
was
get
you.
so sick of the fucking clicking on this, travel here,
Yes.
click this, orbit, fast travel, land. Like, you don't fucking control your ship, and it's a game about space. Like,
Right.
I'm sorry, that's like the biggest turn off for me because like it's not a Star Citizen
Right.
or a No Man's Sky, and I'm like, you're talking about infinite space that you just don't travel
Yeah.
in at all, and the dogfighting is pretty lackluster. You drain their shields, you use bullets and missiles, and like that's it, I
Right.
guess, because I'm not about to spend time to make a cooler ship because the mechanic of building your ship is clunky and god awful. Same with making outposts. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
There's a
I haven't.
lot of things they completely dropped the ball on.
I
And
haven't made a single outpost. I couldn't give a
it's
fuck
horrible.
less. Could not care less.
I can't
Uh,
imagine the people that, have seen on Reddit where they made like really cool ships,
right.
like the Futurama ship and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, I cannot imagine how long that took you to do
Right.
that,
Right.
because just trying to like upgrade my ship a little bit is the most painful thing ever, to the point where I'm like, fuck it. I'm just not even gonna, I'm not doing it.
Right.
So, like, until somebody develops a good mod, which the modding community is already starting to turn this game around for the better.
Yeah.
Once those get implemented and like change the game, like, I think it has a good like foundation, and I feel like Bethesda's really good about that, making good foundation, and it's buggy as hell, and the community is going to make it something special.
Right.
So I right where it's at the beginning, it's not super great in my
Okay.
opinion,
So
but
I
I am still hopeful that something cool can come out of this.
gotcha. Gotcha. So I have, in my opinion, there's two main things that keep this from being a really great game. And you kind of touched on both of them, both of my two main complaints. I'd say my biggest complaint is the fucking menu system. Like you said, open up your menu, go into your map, pick what planet you want to go to, grab jump to that planet, click land. You get a cutscene of your ship landing, or you get a cutscene of your ship docking onto a space station. You can't fly your fucking ship.
Let me
Like,
land it.
no
Like
shit.
in Star Citizen, if I'm an idiot and I fucking crashed, I crashed it.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like,
Or leaving orbit. Like, it's a cutscene. Like, it's all cutscenes, and it's all going into a menu to select this, select this, select this, go here. That's my biggest gripe out of the entire thing. Like, it really takes you out of the game. It very much does.
Oh, and sometimes you can't jump to places because you may have accidentally picked up contraband that you didn't realize,
Yes.
and it never fucking tells you. And it took me like 2 hours to fucking figure out why I couldn't go back to the lodge. And it's like, oh, I had picked up contraband, but you're like not going to tell me.
Right,
It's just
right.
grayed out. And just like
Yes.
there's some frustrations with the game.
And then my other big gripe is you kind of touched upon this. What I love about Bethesda games in the past is you get one giant open world, and as you're exploring, you see this thing in the distance, and you're like, "Oh my god, I have to get there and see what
Yeah.
that is." That is not in this game. That is not in this game because you don't have one giant open world. You're bouncing from planet to planet to planet. It's not it's not that. You're not going to get that experience, and that's kind of a letdown, I'm not going to lie. Not to say that there's not cool set pieces, not that there to say that there's cool shit you can get to. Um like I've found stuff on planets where like have you found the Red Mile yet?
No,
So
sound
it's
familiar.
essentially like this gambling den where they have this competition called the Red Mile where you have to run this kind of length of space, hit a button at the end, and run back without dying as like stuff's trying to kill you. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I just found that. Um, so there is stuff like that. There's cool stuff to find, but it's not like previous Bethesda games where you're just like you just find it by exploring. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, Another thing, the way you get quests, I think, is also a pro and a con. So I like it because it's a little more organic. Because if like New Atlantis is the main city, if you're walking through it, if people are having a conversation and you listen to them mention something like, "Oh, so and so needs some help with this," a quest just pops up into your quest log, right? Which is kind of cool. But at the same time, like sometimes I'm just sprinting through. And I'll have a quest pop up in my quest log. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I have no idea even what this is or why I'm supposed to do this. So that's kind of good and bad too.
Reminds me of that meme of like he's got like the helmet on with like the eyes cut out. I have no idea who I am or where I am, but I just know I need to kill.
Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly. Um, but yeah, I think one thing that Bethesda is probably better than anybody else at is skill trees as well. I love how they do skill trees. Um, I like it in the sense that like there's enough on there that I struggle to find which point I'm gonna put my skill point into. You know what I mean? It's not like a and I'm not shitting on this game necessarily, but Borderlands skill trees fucking suck. Like I don't care about increasing my stat by 0.7% or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff bothered me. Or even like to some extent like The Witcher 3. You get to a point where it's like I don't care what I put a skill point into anymore. I got what I want. But I very much struggle with like, okay, what do I want to do here? Do I want to upgrade my piloting abilities? Do I want to make it so I'm harder or I'm better in space combat? Do I want to upgrade my dialogue? Do I want to upgrade like, you know what I mean? What am I going to do here? So I really like the skill tree. Um Jesus, Josh. Fuck. All right.
uh, I posted that in the chat as well. Rabbit says here in chat, the characters have no soul. The story is boring. There is no open world or free roam. Um,
No open world or what?
free roam.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, if you go to a planet, like there's stuff to do, but not most planets are barren, right? Most planets there's fucking nothing on it, and there's no point in
There
being there
needs to be a
unless
faster travel as well
yes,
when
a
you're on the
hundred
planet, when you're
percent.
fucking walking and running everywhere.
Yes, and
With
jetpacking.
just barren nothingness, like give
Right,
me a goddamn speeder or an ATV or
right,
something.
right. Can we just pull that little
There's
speeder
just
bike
some
from
really
Destiny?
painful parts about the
Yes.
game. And
So,
I'm a person that can handle the grind. Like the grind
right,
does not bother me, but there's something just doesn't have that spark. There's
right,
something missing.
right. Um, I do think, yeah, I will say, at the end of the day, I think Starfield is a good game. I think there is something good there. Do I think it's going to make my top 5 when we do Game of the Year? Probably not. It'll probably be an honorable mention game. Um, especially with all the fucking outstanding games we've already had come out, not to mention what is still yet to come. I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet. Like that's still on my list. Spider-Man 2 is coming, Alan Wake 2 is coming, Lies of P just came out. Like there's all these fucking
Is that
games that
tomorrow?
yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, sorry.
Tomorrow.
Well,
Well, unless you
tonight
get
at
the
11 or whatever,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, Lies of P is coming out. Like there's all these fucking games I still have to play. Um and I don't see it making my top 5. But do I think it's a good game? Yes, I do. Like, so Adam, if you out of 10, if you had to score it, what would you give it?
Right now,
Yeah.
like a 6.
Okay. See, I'm at like a 7, so I like a little bit more than you do. But Justin, you're muted.
Oh yeah, let's see stuck.
Sacred Rabbit said that Liza P is out today. He just played it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes. Okay. So yeah, there's so many other just fucking incredible games coming, and there's so many incredible games I've already played. So I don't think it'll be in my top 5. I'll be kind of unless it seriously picks up here soon. But I think it's a good game. I really do. I'm enjoying my time with it. Whenever I start playing it, I always have shit I want to do. It's not like I'm bored at any point in time. Um, so
I
I
think
think
it's gonna be like a cyberpunk thing. It's like in a year or so, it
it's
might be actually in a good state,
right,
but
right.
like
Yep.
I don't know.
Also,
It's
this is
probably after modding community is gonna like make those planets actually have shit on them.
right, right.
That's
Um,
that is one interesting thing is because of the sheer amount of planets and the sheer amount of shit that isn't on them.
Again, good
Uh,
foundation for for
exactly.
cool stuff.
yep.
There's so
You could
much
take a
room
barren
for
planet and
modding.
make a cool fucking planet. You're like, come visit my planet. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I do have to ask like one question, which is one of the reasons why I loved the Fallout games, well, Fallout 3 and 4 specifically, is that they had all of the serious moments, but also just sheer amounts of
Oh,
absurdity.
oh,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is
There's definitely that.
is there that like because
Yes.
everything that I've played,
There's
you
been
know,
like 3 incidents where I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
everything I've
And
played
it
thus
was
far has
awesome.
been very like cookie cutter, very like
Right.
boring space diplomacy shit.
It's
Oh, it has that.
yeah, for sure. I think like the funniest parts I found so far are just kind of the random shit that happens. Like I'll warp to a planet
And then you'll
and
get an incoming message from
yeah,
somebody or like a ship.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you take the message, like I've had one person where they're like, excuse me, can we talk to you? And then I accept the hail and they're like, oh,
This
thank
is
God, we've been trying to reach you on your extended warranty for your airship. And I'm like, God damn it.
I found
So
that one too.
there's another one where there's just this grandma going through space who invites you in for supper, and you can just go in and have dinner with her. Like she's just floating around space, meeting new people, and her ship is set up like a grandma's house. Like it's got these like shitty rugs, and the
See
like
that.
chairs and couches have covers on them. Like there's shit like that where it's like, oh my god, there's no point to this, but you can just go have supper with this lady as she's floating through space.
I
Like
knew there was going to be at least a little bit of humor because
yeah,
the very first locker that I decided to steal shit from, I open it and there was only 2 items in it: lotion and tissues.
yeah.
And I'm like, somebody has humor. Okay, this game isn't completely soulless.
My
Uh,
I think my favorite like funny moment so far was came across the ship just like out in the middle of like going to a thing and I saw this other ship so I approached it and it was like a booze cruise and everyone was just wasted and it was so funny. The
I haven't caught
captain
that
was
yet.
wasted and he was just like, "Hey, should we turn the gravity on or off? Like it's up to you, man." I was like, "Off." And just everyone starts floating and shit starts like
Yeah.
clinking everywhere. It was so funny.
Oh, that was another cool mission I did. On this ship where the gravity kept turning on and off, like there was something wrong with it. So you're going through fighting these, like going through the ship, killing people, and then every once in a while the gravity would just turn off. So like people would be hiding behind cover, and all of a sudden they're not behind cover because they're floating up in the air. Like there's cool shit like that that you
The
find. You know
gravity
what I mean?
system in the game, I will say, is a
Yeah.
very cool touch. Every planet, like at the bottom, has like a different gravity,
Yes.
like decimal, and like you can definitely feel it. I will say again, there's some cool
Yeah.
foundational
There
thing with
is.
it,
Yeah. For sure.
but yeah.
For sure. So, well, I see. Adam and I have kind of similar takes on it. I think I like it a little bit better than he does, obviously, but I
I'm
agree.
just
It's
glad I
not
wasn't hyped up for it. That's all I can say because it's pretty much met exactly what I
right
thought was gonna happen.
for sure, for sure. Um, yeah, I don't think I had huge expectations going into it either. Like I was hoping it was going to be better than Fallout 76, and it is. I will give it that. It is much better than Fallout 76.
Doesn't take
Um,
much though.
yeah, right.
I played a lot more 76 than Starfield.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's it's a game that like I think I don't know if I'm gonna just because of everything else I have to play this year. I don't know if I'm gonna finish the campaign in this
Not
run
going
through.
anywhere, right?
Yeah, so it might be a game I come back to at some point. Um,
Are you bummed
especially
you paid enough versus just Game Pass?
no, mm, no. And that's more so like if I hadn't, yeah. So what Justin's referring to is you could pay like an upgrade fee to get the special edition, and I did that so I could play 5 days early or whatever it was. Um, and that's one of the things where like if I didn't do it, it was gonna be all I thought about for those 5 days. It was like, God damn, I could be playing it right now. So I had to do it. I like I said, I'm enjoying my time with it. I do think it's a good game. I am still enjoying it. I still want to play every day when I get home from work. So I don't think it's a bad game by any means, but um, it definitely could be better. It's definitely got some major flaws to it. So all right. Uh, anything else on Starfield, Josh or Adam?
Nope.
I was just gonna say randomly that an article popped up and it was talking about, so curious your guys' take, because we kind of touched on this before, but it was talking about Starfield and how this kind of started with Assassin's Creed, but now games just like the new standard is the open world, go collect 50 million different types of collectibles without any actual meat to the game. It's ultimately just go collect this without any like unique situations.
I'm not sure that.
That little dopamine urge when you get something, it's like, boom, you collected it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know if
Go do it 50 more times.
I don't know if I consider Starfield to be that though. Like I think there's substance there. There's meat on the bones there. Like I said, I haven't even touched the main story, but I'm finding a bunch of side stuff that I'm really enjoying. I'm undercover in a pirate organization right now. That's been a lot of fun.
How are you
Um,
doing that?
yes, yep. So there's a lot
Your
of cool
boy
stuff
went with
going.
the pirates, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But I did
Uh,
the gangster background, so like I wanted to be with the
oh,
Crimson
there you go.
Fleet like right away.
There you go. Yep. So, yeah, there's lots of stuff to do. I joined the Freestar Rangers, which is kind of like they're like U.S. Marshals of the Galaxy, essentially. So I'm really enjoying that quest line. Like, I think there's definitely meat there. Like,
Did you
I
name your
would,
ship Serenity? Like what the fuck, Ryan?
yeah, right. Speaking of which, I'm saving up to buy a new ship, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I think it's the most expensive ship in the game, and I'm going to own it. I'm doing my damnedest to get there. It's like 470,000 credits or something. So I think
Sweet.
I'm up to like 300 something. Um, so anyways, I if you are trying to compare this to like an Assassin's Creed, I don't think that's a fair comparison at all. Uh, Assassin's
And
Creed's awful,
I don't know
but
that anyone was trying to say that. It was more the style of game,
yeah,
where it sounds
yeah.
like this one's even almost missing the open world aspect of it.
It's got a bunch of mini open worlds, so it's definitely not like a just big map open world game. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
kind of glad that I didn't do it after hearing Adam talk because, like, going from No Man's Sky and especially Star Citizen, if I can't
You
even
would
land
hate it.
my
It's
if I
not
can't
like
even
that at
land
all.
my
Yeah,
ship, I would
it's
be
such a
very
weird
annoyed.
choice.
You
Like
very rarely get to actually pilot your ship, which
only if
is
you're in combat. That's it. That's
yeah.
the only time. That's the only time.
I mean, there's times where I'll just do it because that's what I really wanted the game, and I'm just gonna like fly around and do some stuff. But yeah, like
But you can't even like Alana Pierce, who used to work at IGN, she writes for Sony Santa Monica now. I think I've talked about her before. Justin looked up her Instagram and went, "She's banging." So I haven't talked about her before, but she did a thing where she just left her Xbox on overnight for 7 hours to try and fly into Pluto Like she warped to Pluto and then just set her thrusters to full. And after 7 hours, she finally got to the planet, and it was just like a 2D model. She just clipped right through to the other side.
That's so sad.
No.
Right. So like you can't. You literally can't. So
Wow.
and that's such a weird choice to me. Like I don't understand. No Man's Sky can do it. Star Citizen can do it. Like I don't. It's just weird to me, man. Very weird to me. And maybe they just didn't want people like crashing into buildings and shit and like New Atlantis. I don't know. But I feel like there's ways around that.
Well,
That
single
was
player, who gives a fuck?
right.
Like,
Like that was a very weird choice. And that, like I said, that's my biggest gripe. I just don't understand it. I don't
I
get
mean,
it.
it would take a lot. It would make the game a lot bigger if you could
Yeah.
do it.
Holy
I mean,
shit.
everything's instanced.
But I
Everything
don't.
that you're doing is always instanced.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Depending on what they got going, I don't know if they want that extra size of the game.
Right. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
let
I'm guessing it was made as like a amount of work versus how much they actually cared for the experience.
right.
Like it was obviously an intentional choice. It wasn't like they just forgot to
Yeah,
add
right.
that
Exactly.
functionality, right?
Right.
So it was someone decided that it was not worth investing the time, money, and resources into it.
Right. It's still I don't know, man. It's the weirdest choice out of the whole thing. That's my number one complaint is I just don't understand. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Justin, we're doing conspiracy today?
Conspiracy? You say?
You say?
Tin hat. Get our tin hats on.
Right.
Yeah.
Conspiracy, perhaps.
What you drinking there, Ryan?
I'm drinking water with some black cherry Mio added to it.
I've
The one
got
that I do as well.
black cherry flavoring in my
Oh, there
soda
you go.
stream.
I love black cherry, dude. Love it. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna get it right today. Hello.
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 Can you hear him?
Barely.
All right.
He said,
Hello.
Hello. To say louder.
I don't know how to do this better.
Without cheating, you mean?
I got my eyes closed.
Sure you do. All right, go ahead.
Okay. What is the code name for the secret fleet of spacecraft protecting the Earth from an alien invasion? A. The Solar Warden. B. The International Space Shield. C. The Global Wall. Or D. E.T. Go Home.
I'm going
gonna say
A because
A.
it sounds the
I'm
most
going A.
badass.
I agree. A.
I'm going with C. Build that wall. Build
I'm
that
go-
wall.
I'm going with B. I'm going with B.
2 A's, a B, and a C.
It is A.
God damn it.
Damn it.
Fuck.
Solar Wardens. What a
Shit.
It
badass
sounded the
name.
best,
It
right?
is. It is a dope sounding name.
Hell yeah.
Also, did she know we were gonna be talking about Starfield, or was
That
that
was
just a happy
hilarious how
coincidence?
that
Happy
fit in.
coincidence.
That's awesome. That worked out perfect.
So
Uh,
our real defense against aliens is that we're just gonna put up a 2D version of the Earth that
right.
they're gonna fly to. It's not even a 3D version.
Shit, awesome. All right, let's do our main topic. We spent a lot of time talking about Starfield, so we'll try and get moving. Gentlemen, we need to spend some time talking about the Unity debacle. For those not aware, every once in a while, a company makes a decision, especially in the video game world, that you're just like, the fuck were you thinking? Like, I know money is important to you guys, but sometimes it's on the level of like when Xbox was launching the Xbox One, and they were like, "Oh, you always have to be connected to the internet. You can't share games with anybody." Like, what the fuck? You thought that was gonna go over okay? Um, but I do want to. Josh is kind of the one that originally brought this to us in our Discord chat. So I want to throw it over to Josh. Josh, you want to do just a quick explanation of what has been going on?
Yeah. So for people who are unaware, there's a handful of different pieces of software to make video games, and Unity is a pretty big one. The other like really big one is like Unreal, but there's a pricing model associated with it where you pay a certain amount and you get a license for it and you can make your game, and you have to re-up that yearly. They have announced that they are changing their licensing so that if you sell a certain number of copies and you make enough money on it, then they will start charging you per install of the game. And originally it was very unclear what they meant by per install, but then they clarified, and it didn't necessarily make it any better.
Made it worse.
It, specifically, it's per install of the game on a new system. So if you buy the game once for $20 and you install it on 5 computers, or because Unity also is for like mobile games, if you install that on multiple phones, as you upgrade your phone, the developer will have to pay Unity a set price per install of that game. Uh,
Which, just to be
so
clear, this is not how anyone else operates. Just to be clear.
correct. So
No.
the really dumb thing is, like the way that Unreal does they do like a profit sharing percentage. So if you sell your game for $50, they take 1%, 5%, whatever it might be, from it. And if you sell it for $10, they're still going to take 1 to 5% or whatever the margin is. So they're making their money regardless, but it scales based off of how many you sell. Because if you don't sell any games, then Unreal doesn't get any money. And if it goes on like sale or something, then um, you're not paying like a set price. It's weighted in the percentage of what you sold it for. So they could have done this. That would have been like, okay, well, the industry had decided that that is the most efficient way of making money, and so they could have chose that model, but they didn't. They chose this asinine way. So people brought up questions like, okay, well, what happens if a bootleg copies, right? Those still message home to the Unity servers. So like, are we going to get charged for that? And their answer was, well, the developers can put in like a uh, what do they describe it as? Like they can file a claim to say that some percentage of those are invalid. But one, it's on the developer
No.
to figure that
Right.
out,
Right.
right? And like, of course, Unity's going to be like, well, you can't prove that 50,000 of those are fake. So, like it's like fighting an insurance company.
Exactly. I was just
Uh,
gonna bring that up.
yeah, so you're fucked. And then the other question that got brought up was, okay, well, what about um, Game Pass?
Yep,
Those
that's a big
people are
one.
those people aren't buying the game, but they're installing it. And Unity, having seemingly not thought of this at all, said, well, it's not on the developers. Like Microsoft or Sony or whoever will have to pay for that. How?
Dang.
How? Like, you're just gonna tell Microsoft,
I'm
"Oh,
so glad
Yeah.
you brought that up. That
you
was
owe
my
us
thought.
money?" Like, Microsoft's
Microsoft,
gonna just
they're gonna
no.
laugh at
They'd be
you. They're
like,
just gonna laugh at you. Yeah.
Yeah. Their lawyers would like to have a quick chat for them to just laugh on a conference call, uh,
hell, they're gonna do a
because
Zoom call so they could do it face to face and laugh
Right.
at them.
Right.
your license agreement is with the publisher, not Microsoft.
Right.
They're not beholden to you at all.
Right.
Uh, so that's that's a flaw. And then the third uh kind of big one for me, so we have like it's per install, and you have to file claims, and they're not going to get Microsoft to pay for this for Game Pass, right? It also takes place retrospectively. So games that were published before this change will have to abide by this new policy. So if you had an agreement with them last year and you published your game, all of a sudden you are going to have to pay for an install cost that you never factored
Right.
in,
Right.
which is interesting. I haven't gotten too much into the legality, like, of can they retroactively change their licensing agreement? Probably yes, because they're paying for a license for something. that they probably have to re-up on, similar to like Windows being you're paying for the service, you're not paying for like a copy of Windows exactly. It bullshit market, legal terms, uh, but that's the other big thing that is unclear here.
Right. So, yeah, a lot to dive into, obviously, and I don't want to take too much time because we're already running a little bit late. But um, one thing I want to bring up, they today post on their Twitter feed the classic. It's the line that every single company uses when they fuck up, and that is "We hear you." That's their line. Every single time somebody fucks up hard, you get the "We hear you" message. And that more updates are coming in the future days. Obviously, we're probably not going to talk about that other than maybe in a snippet in the next episode, but because we're covering it today. But it's the "we fucked up and we know it." Um,
One thing I
Josh,
have to say about that statement and their previous statement is that they apologized for the confusion.
yeah,
We're sorry that you don't
yeah,
understand. Like they're not even apologizing for being assholes. They're
right,
apologizing because they think that we're too dumb to realize they're assholes.
right,
It's
right,
such a non-apology. It's like when you do something shitty and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry that offended you." Like
right,
you're not apologizing for being a
yep,
jerk. You're
Like
like,
your action's still
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's such a non-apology. Like, uh, I don't. Their HRT or their PR team
PR, yeah,
just has to be like a dumpster fire right now.
right. So Adam, I want to kick it over to you. So one thing, a game that you and I both very much love, Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
The developers have already come out and said, "Hey, January 1st, you're not going to be able to buy this game anymore. So buy
Yeah.
it now." So how do you see this
But I
going in the
mean,
future?
even kind of what to Josh was saying, that's still not getting around the fact that like we have a Steam Deck and we've got computers, and if I get a new computer, I need to install this
Right,
game. Like, are they still getting charged? Like, and
right,
it's just it's this is such a fucked situation. Like, I don't understand where they're getting off like thinking this is
right,
okay.
right. And two, like you got to imagine, obviously there are some game companies that are currently in development on games using Unity. Any developer who has not started making a game who was maybe previously going with Unity, there's no
Oh,
fucking way
no.
anymore.
No,
It's
Which is
over.
really
no.
unfortunate because Unity is in itself a really user friendly like tool. It obviously because people have made pretty great games. It's got a really great way of like using it. Even I was using it a little bit when I was dabbling in like some game making and stuff, and it's surprisingly easy to get into.
Right, right,
So like I get that they want money for their tool. I get it. They've made a good tool. But I'm assuming devs have to get a license and like use certain versions of it. You can't just use the free version, I'm assuming, like when you're
right.
doing these things.
Oh,
So
for
it's I
sure.
feel like
Definitely.
if you're really gonna be an asshole, do more of an upfront charge versus whatever this is. Cause like
Right.
even I'm glad Josh brought up Game Pass because that was immediately one of the first
Yeah.
things I
Oh
thought
yeah.
of was that. And then just like think of like people if they have a virus or something, they reinstall Windows and so they reinstall their games and stuff. Like are all these people getting charged because some asshole like clicked on some porn site? You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right.
I'm just like, what is going on? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think and the shitty part is like Justin, I want to go to you next. The people, if this comes to fruition, who's going to get hurt the most are small indie studios. Like
Absolutely.
it's going to destroy them. It is going to destroy them, and there's no way that they're going to be able to recover.
I don't think it's necessarily going to destroy them as much as they're going to do a Cold of the Lamb. They're going to pull their game out, and then
Yeah.
they're going to like never use Unity again. And there's other software out there that you can use, like
But
Josh said, Unreal, and like there's other platforms out there. But it's just
but if you're a small indie
and then
studio
they're
who,
gonna die because of
right,
capitalism, right?
right.
They'll just die because no one's going to use them anymore.
If you're a small indie studio who has released a game using Unity, you're relying on that revenue to make your next game. So even if you pull it from the storefront, all of a sudden you have no revenue coming in anymore, right?
And
And
you'd have
You
to
have
paying
learn
these
a new
installs.
engine.
and you have to learn a new engine. You might have already been in development on your next game. You have to cut all that out and just completely start on a new one. But Justin, what are kind of your thoughts?
I mean, I think you guys covered a lot of it, so I don't have to beat a dead horse too much, but I don't know that this is something that you recover from because the trust has been lost. So I would imagine anyone that's already read this as a developer, and even if they do backtrack and change it, I would imagine people are going to start reading and learning a different engine, and all of their subsequent games are going to come out in something else because
Yeah,
I would never trust them ever again.
right.
They may just do something weird with their terms of service and then make this a slow, like, hey, this is coming, or how they pulled this off almost feels illegal,
Right.
honestly.
Yep.
Um, and it pretty much is from a moral standpoint. So I don't know. Companies shouldn't have to worry about someone doing this. Like, this is, it's basically like making their engine backed by a communist country.
Right. Right. So I've been trying to like think of other examples that use this kind of structure, like outside of video games or whatever. I can't think of a one. Like not a single one. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like this would be totally different than anything we've seen before. And it's of course them just trying to get more money, but um yeah, I don't know, man. Like I think
Wait, Josh and I are over here like trying to.
I know.
I
I
can't
know.
think of
I've been
anything.
thinking too.
Well, so I mean, enterprise software is like a per usage license, right? So
Sure,
if
but
you
you're
if you buy
got a
a
license for one version though. Like I get that.
yeah, so like if you buy, like a piece of like McAfee DLP or something, then you have 5,000 licenses. You can install it on 5,000 machines. If you want to install it on 5,001 machine, you got to remove it from. But you're buying like a specific number of licenses. It's not like a perpetual. It's gonna be some random amount, and you don't know what it is
Yes.
going in.
Yep, that's what I was gonna
Uh,
say.
so even in like in the enterprise software realm, I can't think of anything. There's stuff that kind of leans that direction, but not in the like the consumer gets to decide how much you pay,
Right.
which is weird.
Yeah. Super strange. But anyways, I can see them trying to walk this back hard. If they don't try and walk this back hard, holy shit, like they're done, dude. It's toast. I don't
One of the points I wanted to make, but I kind of forgot earlier, was that they're kind of acting like they're surprised that people would be against this. But one of their like leads just left Unity and like posted on their LinkedIn that they were leaving and other developers were leaving because they disagreed with the company on this. And
right.
they said, and they've been saying for like a year, that this is a bad plan. This is going to ruin everything. Everyone's going to hate us. Like this is horrible. And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, well we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out." And then boom, they published it without
Right.
like telling
Right.
people that who were concerned about it. And so people are leaving. So they're not surprised. Any
Yeah.
any social media that says that like we're surprised that that there was such a big reaction. Fuck you. Your employees told
Yeah.
you.
Right. Right.
Don't
There's a
lie to
lot.
us.
There's a lot of games on Unity too when you like step back and think about it too. Like
Mhm.
Tarkov is on
Garkov,
Unity.
yeah.
Rust is on that. Like there's a lot. Among Us is on Unity. Like there's some big heavy hitters out there. Cupheads I think is on Unity.
Maybe Tarkov will finally limit the amount of hackers they allow.
Because
No.
they're gonna, because legitimately, if they're paying per install, the hackers are using virtual machines to spin up multiple instances to run in.
Oh,
So
that's a good call. The
every
hackers
VM,
can bring down to
Yeah.
BSG.
yeah, BSG will have to pay per hacker.
So
Now,
maybe
granted,
they'll actually fix the hacking problem because it's going to be a deterrent in the long run.
then again, it's like 20 cents,
Maybe
20 cents per install, and they're getting like a
like 50
$30
bucks. Yeah,
license
yeah,
from
yeah.
Battlestate's still making bank on that
Yeah,
equation.
they don't give a fuck. You're right.
They're still making money on the hackers regardless. But
Long story short,
yeah.
there's a lot of big games out there
Right.
that use
For sure.
Unity. It's like it's not an oversight, but good.
Definitely.
No wonder they just want money.
All right. Let's move on to our draft this week. So this week it is Adam's turn. The order will go Adam, then myself, then Josh, and then Justin. And then back to Adam again, obviously for round 2. Adam, what is your topic, or what is your category, and what is your first pick?
So I was going down a grocery store Sunday that you're probably familiar with. And there was like fucking 2 long aisles worth of fucking Halloween candy already. I mean,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
already. I
It's-
guess it makes yeah,
It's
it's
been
been
up for
here.
a month. Yeah.
So, but it made me think of Halloween and stuff like that. So, favorite zombie series, and I left it open to any media
So
whatsoever.
movies, comics, books,
Anything.
whatever. Okay.
Anything zombie related.
Cool.
So, I'm going to go with movies 28 Days Later.
Very nice choice. God, that's a good movie.
very
So
Um,
good.
very good.
The
Crossing
worst
that off my
possible
list.
universe of zombies to live in, because you are fucked. I don't
Yeah,
care
you're
who
done.
you are.
It's over.
You fucked.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Every time someone asks, like, throughout, because
You don't want those runners, man.
yeah,
Fuck
every
those
time it's
guys.
like, oh, how would you handle the zombie apocalypse? My answer is like, okay, which zombie apocalypse? Because if it's 28 days, I just die instantly. I don't
Yeah.
care what the plan is. I'm
Yeah.
fucked.
Uh,
I'm old and out of shape. I can't be outrunning
It's one of the
those
most
like
depressing
sprinters.
zombie universes there is out there,
For
and I
sure.
love
Yeah.
it. It's so good. The movie's amazing too, obviously. And 28 weeks later is also good. Not as good as 28 days.
I was gonna say, I
but
feel like they
not as
took a-
good, but
it
it's
may-
still really good.
It may be on someone's list. You never know.
Yeah, it's
You're
not
right.
on mine.
So
Okay,
that's mine.
so
Whoever's
that's
next.
a damn good choice. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with something that I had a pretty severe addiction to for a while. Never missed an episode. Read the comics. And that's obviously The Walking Dead.
So are you picking comics or the series? Because I feel like they're both
I can
very
split
different.
them.
You can split them.
Yeah, they're two different mediums, so you can split them.
No. All right.
You
So,
have to.
and-
I'm gonna make it so you have to pick because
Okay.
one of them may have been on my list. So
Because I will say it's important that we split them because
I
only
agree.
one of those two is good.
I agree with Josh as well.
I disagree with Josh there, but I'm
Uh,
gonna go with my favorite between the two, and I'm just gonna go with the comics.
Okay,
Which
that's the correct answer. So
It is
Yeah.
the correct answer. Yeah.
which
the comic's
and
so much
you know
better.
what? They deviate pretty hard from the show, so I agree with you on that one. Yeah, absolutely love the comics. All right, I won't talk about the show then. Um, love the comics a lot. I do think that I think the storyline of the comics is better for the most part. There's one area where I like the show better, and that is, what is that a spoiler? Well, no, it's just a character. That's the character of Carol. I think did much better in the show than in the comic books.
Interesting. Okay.
So, but otherwise, I think the comic is far superior in every way. So,
That's the
uh,
correct answer.
yeah. So,
Yep, for sure.
yeah, I'm going Walking Dead comics. Josh.
I'm gonna knock this one out because I'm sure it's on somebody else's list, and I'm gonna be sad. Shaun of the Dead
God damn it!
is
Yeah.
so fucking
That was
funny.
gonna be my next round.
That was my honorable mention, but no, I'm glad you
Uh,
dropped
it's so funny. I mean, I mean, honestly, I don't even. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know how to sell it to you other than it's incredibly funny. It's like an actually decent zombie film in itself, you know.
What's wrong, Deborah? Never heard of a shortcut before? Like, I fucking love that movie.
uh, when they're just like wailing on the zombie
Yeah.
with the pole cues to the beat of "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. So good.
So funny.
You've got red on you. Like I love everything about that fucking movie.
Yes, it is. I like horror is my genre of choice, and I'm like looking through all of my list of possible options, and that one is by far the one that I consumed the most.
Nice.
See, I've seen that movie so many
It's so
times.
good. Very good. Goddamn, good choice. That was gonna be my next round. Well, fuck. Now the other choice that was gonna be my next round, Adam's about to steal on his turn. But Justin, you go first.
So shit, I got a lot here, but so I don't lose it. Dawn of the Dead, 2004.
Good choice. Good
Very
choice.
good.
Um. Uh. I think
So
like
intense.
in terms of serious zombie movies, that's probably the best one. Like I don't know. What am I wrong? What do you guys think?
It's
What did
so
you say
good.
in
It's
terms of
so
not
fucked up.
serious?
No, in
No,
terms of a
serious.
serious. Yeah.
Most of it was serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
There were
sorry,
some.
not like Shaun of the Dead. Was what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
No,
It
yeah.
it's what I have in my brain as like a zombie movie.
classic. Yes,
Like
yeah, right.
quintessential zombie
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what my brain goes to.
Like when you hear fantasy movie, your mind goes to Lord of the Rings. It's the same way with zombies. Yeah. So I agree. That's a very good choice, Justin. All right, Adam's about to fucking steal mine. Adam, what's your next pick?
Probably not. And you might be surprised, but maybe I will. The reason I bought a 360,
Oh, you're not gonna steal it. Go ahead.
the Dead Rising series.
Nice. Good
Mm.
choice. Fuck
Probably
yeah.
arguably the best like sandbox zombie killing games that you can come across.
Yeah.
However you want to kill a zombie, you can do it. And it was based in the mall in the first
Yeah.
one. Like there was the first one was so good. It was so good. I remember like wanting a 360 for so long just for that game. And it was the very first game I bought on the 360 and it did not let me down.
And
It
it's
was
so
so good.
ridiculous too.
And I
Like,
love it. I
yes,
love it. You want to
Yeah.
kill
absolutely.
out you want to kill everyone, you can.
Now,
And
I have a
that's so
question.
cool.
Did you play the fourth game?
That I don't know. I may
Okay.
have stopped at like 3 to be
So
honest. I
Dead
can't
Rising
remember.
4, you take over as Frank West again and you're back in a mall and it's fucking awesome.
Hmm. I don't know if
Yeah.
I did. Maybe because 3 was just a little way too over the top
Yeah.
and a little
I didn't like
crazy.
3. Yeah.
But no, the first one's so good. Second one was good. 3 was weird, and
Yeah.
it started to get a little weird. But you know,
Yeah.
it's also Capcom, so they're gonna do some weird stuff.
For sure. For sure. Solid choice. All right, well, I'm surprised you didn't take this one. The Evil Dead. Uh Hands down, The Evil Dead.
Is it
Campy.
really zombie though?
I think so. No, is it not?
I don't know.
I mean, there's definitely undead in it. So here's a clarifying question. What's the movie with
I mean,
Will
we can give
Smith?
it to you, but I Am
What's
Legend.
I Am Legend. Is that a zombie
I
movie
don't
or is that a
know. It's a
vampire movie?
It's a yeah. Like it's like a hybrid sort of, but I feel like it's more vampire in
All right,
my opinion.
is this invalid? Do I need to change my
I don't
answer?
know. I mean, I was just more of a question. I always thought it was more of like a possessed demons, sort of weird people. I guess I never thought of it as a zombie movie because I feel like zombies are kind of more on the mindless sort of side
I
of
s-
things,
well,
and these guys like can talk and they do some crazy shit and
not
they have
necessarily.
purpose.
Well, I can't say that because that might be somebody else's pick.
And
But
you're right, there's zombie
y-
movies that
yes, right,
they have more intelligence than
yeah.
others. I get that.
I don't know. You
I don't
guys vote.
know.
Do you allow this or not? You can vote.
I mean, I would say it's
I mean,
Adams.
I don't really give a fuck if you. I would count it. It's fine.
Okay,
I've just never thought about that one as like a
Josh.
zombie movie, I guess, or a zombie series. I would think of
Y-
horror and thriller.
I don't think it is
Yeah,
personally
Okay,
because like it's literal demons, not
yeah.
like
It's like
zombies or
there's like
okay,
whatever.
possession going on and stuff more than like zombies.
okay.
I
Fine.
guess.
All right. I will change my answer then to what it was going to be my next pick. And that's World War Z.
Okay.
The
The
movie over the
book or
book.
movie?
I
Yeah.
did not like the book. I really did not like the book, so I'm going movie.
I
I
actually
thought the
read
book.
that book.
I thought the book was fucking boring. I'm sorry. I did not like the book.
Sorry, Max Brooks.
Yeah, I did
That
not.
is absolutely the wrong option.
Uh,
Eh, like so infinitely the wrong
I
option. My
did
God.
not like the book was boring, dude. I'm sorry. I did not like the book. I don't even know if I finished it, to be honest with you. Um, but I think if you're talking about zombie worlds where you're fucked, this one's right underneath 28 Days Later. Cuz they're fucking
They have the
fast.
numbers. They have the
Yeah, the
numbers
numbers
too.
and they climb on top of each other like the whole thing's fucking wild. But I
They're
very much
ants, I think, is like what
yeah,
I think more.
yeah. So, I really like the movie. I did not like the book. I'm sorry for ruining everybody's day. But I'm gonna go
I
with
mean, I liked the movie more than the book, but I did enjoy the book.
okay. All right, fair enough. All right, World War Z. Josh, what's your second pick?
So I'm torn between my second pick being something classic versus something that I would enjoy today more so. So I'm gonna go with something I've enjoyed recently. Train to Busan.
I was curious if that was
Uh,
going to end up on anyone's list.
Haven't
I
seen
think
it.
it's a Korean film, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
you're correct.
And essentially, it's like a group of people who are on a train headed to Busan when zombie outbreak starts.
Hmm.
And if you have not seen it, it is fabulous. It's by far the best zombie movie I have seen in a very long time. Because in my personal opinion, one of the reasons that this was difficult is that there's 10 billion zombie movies, and most of them suck. Because there was like a saturation point around The Walking Dead season 1, where like everything had to have zombies in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything was just zombies, everything, and most of the things that came out sucked. But then I heard that this was good, so I watched it, and I think I've seen it like 3 times in the last 2 years. It's fabulous.
Nice. Hell yeah. I'm gonna have to add it to my list. I have not seen it. I'm gonna have to
I
check it
think I
out.
watched it on Netflix.
Okay.
So assuming it's still there, I would check because that's how I watched it.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'll check it out. Justin.
Um, so I'm just gonna say The Walking Dead show, but seasons 1 through 3 specifically.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
the early
Um,
seasons, the best.
yeah, like that was one of those. I don't do, especially back then, I didn't do a lot of like tune in every week. I think the only other show that I've really done that on network television was Sons of Anarchy.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So good.
And I don't know, just
Opie. Opie.
the first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead were I loved it. I couldn't wait. The characters were fantastic. The story was fantastic.
You couldn't wait to see who was gonna die.
Yeah, like it was
Yeah.
just really, really good. And then obviously I don't know if it got bad per se or if I just got bored.
Yeah, that's definitely
Because I know a lot
Oh,
of people.
you
Obviously,
got
it's.
bored because it got bad.
I mean, it lasted long enough. Enough people must have been watching it, but it just I
yeah,
got
what,
bored.
12 seasons?
And like 3 spin-offs or something
Yeah, yeah.
I
insane.
mean, doesn't Daryl have his own show right now? Isn't there
Oh,
like
does he?
doesn't he isn't there like an actual like offshoot where it's just him?
Interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that just came out or
Yeah.
is relatively new.
I think it's relatively new. Been seeing it on Hulu.
But yeah,
Cool.
had to go with
All
that.
right. Good choice. Adam, final pick.
Man, there's like 3 I have left, so it's like really tough. But
We're gonna have to do an after what
yeah,
all was on
honorable
our
mentions
Yeah.
list.
for sure. But I'm going with my gut. Dead Set. Anyone here even seen it? No.
Uh-uh.
It is a British miniseries about people in a Big Brother house when the zombie apocalypse happens, and it is
What?
I did
so
watch that.
amazing. It's
Like, is it
so
a
good.
comedy or is it?
No, it
Oh,
It's a
is a
okay.
horror.
drama, and
Huh.
it's fucked at points. It is so
Interesting.
good.
2008.
Dead
I
set.
remember watching that actually.
It's so good.
I'm gonna have to check that
Like
out.
I'm getting goosebumps
Interesting.
just thinking about that one. Like it still holds up today. Like it is wow. It's
The genres
crazy.
are comedy, drama, horror, reality TV, sci-fi, thriller.
It's amazing.
Interesting. Okay,
Because
I'm
for the
gonna.
longest time, the people in the Big Brother house don't realize what's going on. They just feel like it's like the people outside are just the crazy fans. And it's like, no, they're fucking zombies at this point. Like, and it gets wild. It gets really fucking crazy and
Interesting. Okay.
intense.
All
Dead
right.
set.
All right. Okay. So my final pick, and honestly, this could have been my first round pick, just cause. Uh, but I didn't think anybody else was gonna take it, so I felt pretty comfortable saving it. Call of Duty Zombies, baby. I tell you what, man, me, Leif, and Jeremy, and even at one point I think Justin joined us for a while, sunk so many hours into Call of Duty Zombies. It's not even funny. Like we would start at fucking midnight and just play till 5 in the morning, making it to around like 50 or something. Um, we had such a good time. We played so much of it. We played so much zombies. I will say, as Call of Duty games kept coming out and they kept trying to add more and more shit to zombie mode, it got substantially worse. Like, I think didn't it start with World at War was the first one where you just had the one house, and then maybe Black Ops or whatever is when we played the most of it. With Der Rise was the map we played the most of, but and after that, it kind of started going downhill. But fuck, we played a lot of Call of Duty Zombies. So fun, so goddamn fun. Um, all right, Josh, what's your pick?
So I'm gonna just go ahead and also stick to video games for this one. Left 4 Dead.
Damn it!
Uh,
That was gonna be my next one.
sorry. It's and then specifically I have to pick Left 4 Dead 2, so maybe you could pick Left 4 Dead 1, but Left 4 Dead 2 is the one that I played the most. It is really, really, really good. It kind of defined the genre, in my opinion, of like the point A to point B, just survive. Uh, and it's on my list of like the holy grail of LAN party games. If you have the right number of people to be able to
Or
play
4v4.
4v4, yeah. So if you have 8, exactly. Granted, you could have a bot in there, but ideally, if you have 8 players, it is just incredibly good. And I will compare it. I would normally compare it to other games that exist, but they technically could also exist in people's lists, so I'll hold off on that. But the most recent reimagining of that game. But yeah, Left 4 Dead 2.
Hell yeah, good
So
choice.
good. I remember playing so many online
Oh yeah.
games where you would like be the zombies trying to get the
Mhm.
survivors on mall. And if you got the spitter, you'd get up top and like shoot by the car and you could just like prevent them from ever fueling the car. Like it was so awesome.
Very
That game
good.
was so good.
Yeah, and that
Many,
was
many
the most
hours.
like balanced multiplayer. If you had
Hmm.
4v4 players, like it doesn't matter what side you're on. If you're the survivors and you actually stick together and move at a relatively quick pace, you can win every single time.
Yeah.
But
But
as soon as you
if
get a
someone gets
weak
one off,
link
yeah.
or like someone steps
Zombies
too
just
far
go on
away
them.
and just you do the one thing you shouldn't have done,
Yeah.
you can completely turn the tide of the
Jockey
game.
grabs you, pulls you away. The Titan like pulls you all the way across, and the Spitter and the Hunter. Oh man, you're fucked. Like it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
so good.
Knowing how to like sow confusion in that game was
Oh,
like
so good.
so important as the zombies, because like you couldn't just grab somebody when they were
No.
all hanging out.
Yeah,
You know?
you'll get destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to like do it when they're busy doing something else, so that like by the time they realize you're screaming, then they're like, "Oh shit, where'd he go?"
Yeah. That's why the smoker was such an underplayed character, and like, God, dude, there was some
Well,
good the
refresh my
zombies.
memory.
Let's be real, the zombie side I feel like was a way cooler.
Yeah.
They had a lot of cool abilities.
Did you get to choose which zombies you spawned at? I thought it was random.
No, it was random, but
Okay,
like
yeah.
you had to play enough that you knew all the
Right,
characters
right.
and like knew how to play with your team. Oh man, so good.
Hell yeah,
Pete and
good
I played a
choice.
shit ton of Left 4 Dead
Fuck
2.
yeah. All right, Justin, final pick.
I'm not gonna pick this, but I was gonna say the original Left 4 Dead, not Left 4 Dead 2, only because it was like kind of genre defining
Yeah,
in
that's fair.
that aspect. But I'm gonna go with the first Dying Light.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another one that I kind of looked at as genre defining because that first one, like actually at night, instilled fear. And then when the multiplayer came out, that was surprisingly a lot of fun. But once you got the grapple hook and could zip around faster, but just running around with the boys, slaying zombies, like I really enjoyed Dying Light 2, but it just didn't give me the same rush that the first one did.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Good choice.
Me and
Okay.
Brian playing so many hours of that game.
Yep.
Honestly, you could have fun for hours just running around. Like
Yep.
traversing
Yeah,
is still good.
you could.
Yeah. Okay. Would you guys have honorable or not honorable mentions, but didn't get picked?
Night of the Living
I
Dead. I'm sure that was on like many
Yeah.
people's. I hope at least.
For sure.
It's
For
like
sure.
a
I
classic.
actually
That's what I think of zombie movies. Like I think
Right.
of that one.
I had Dead Island on mine too. I really like those games, but
My backup list is 20 long.
oh my
So
god.
so we could be here all day. But
Max
me a-
Brooks' zombie survival guide. Since he talked about War Z, and I love his books, zombie survival guide, so good, so good.
my guess honorable mentions would be would have been probably Return of the Living Dead, Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the Super
Oh
Nintendo.
yeah,
Ooh, there you
amazing,
go.
great, amazing
Yes,
game.
Justin and I
So
were talking
good.
about that before the episode.
God, I play a fuck ton of that.
Zombie Land
Oh
is
yeah. That was a
fucking
good movie.
funny.
I forgot
Uh,
about that movie.
and The
That might be
Girl
the
with All the
best.
Gifts.
That's a really good movie too. I was thinking about putting that, but I already had too many.
Cool. All right. Sweet.
There's so many good ones out there. You dive
Nice.
into it.
That was a damn good topic, Adam. Good choice. Good choice.
All right, I got Dead Island
Yep.
because that was also genre defining for me. Project Zomboid,
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
the movie Crazies.
Yeah.
We went to see that in theaters.
See, I would push back on that being a zombie then. If Evil Dead doesn't count, I don't know if the Crazies counts.
I don't remember the Crazies.
I don't know
Timothy
if I ever saw that.
Olyphant and
It was in like Des Moines or
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
it. I remember it's supposed to be like based here essentially.
That was like they drank a contaminated water source and went crazy. I don't think that that's a zombie. I don't know.
Well,
If
so 28 days and 28 weeks is a modified form of
that's
rabies.
true. That's
So
true.
like I think if they behave like zombies, that's fine. The problem with Evil Dead specifically is that like they didn't really behave like zombies most of the
Right.
time. Like they would literally have demon voices and like
Right. It
control.
was.
So
I feel like it was like
if
exorcism, like possession shit.
if
Going
they
on.
can use weapons, does it count as a zombie?
No, because there's a doctor
Well,
said
then
that
the
like they
crazies
could
doesn't.
use
Them
guns.
crazies
Like
doesn't
I don't know.
count.
Oh, Day of the Dead.
Can't be your like defining if they could use a weapon or not. I feel like
Day of the Dead, one zombie uses a gun.
I feel like we should have defined zombie before we started. This is too late now.
But Day of the Dead is a direct sequel to Dawn of the Dead, which is absolutely a zombie
Yeah.
movie. So like the answer is maybe.
well, it's on my runner-up, so we shouldn't even
it's a
be spending this
runner-up.
much
Yeah,
time.
right,
exactly.
that's
It's
fair
no
enough.
big deal.
Yeah.
Last two I got is Army of Thieves It's a recent Netflix one. It had Dave Bautista.
Oh,
But
Zack Snyder movie.
I want to say it was like a Dawn of the Dead sequel,
It might have been.
or the same world. But then the last one, and you guys are gonna hate me for this, but Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Oh,
I
jeez.
enjoyed that book.
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
didn't read the book, but I enjoyed the movie.
Interesting. All
I
right.
think that was by the same person who did Abraham Lincoln
Vampire
Vampire
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
Fuck
was
yeah.
also okay, but
Yeah.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies was the better of the books in my
Uh,
opinion.
for
all right,
that
boys. We're going.
movie,
What?
you
Go ahead.
gotta for that movie. I was just gonna say you gotta go into it knowing that you're going into this strictly for entertainment. But if you look it up on IMDb, the cast does not suck.
Okay.
They had some good actors in there, and it was a fun, entertaining, like bunch of Victorian dressed people with
There you go.
swords fighting
Nice.
zombies.
Hell yeah. Cool. All right. We're going late, so we'll do a very fast pick of the week, and then we'll get out of here. Josh, kick us off.
So I went to a concert this weekend, for Sleep Token, but since that was a pick of the week for Tyler a handful of weeks or months ago, then I'll go with the opening act, which was A. A. Williams, who was A. A. Williams, a British singer, who described their music as death gospel. So if that is a combination of words that you enjoy, then that might be up your alley. But listen to them quite a bit on the way back from Minnesota. But
Cool. Very nice. Adam.
Already gushed on it. Ghostwire Tokyo is my
Okay.
pick of the week.
Hell yeah.
It's
Cool.
on Game Pass. Like, you guys need to do yourself a favor. It is so good.
Nice.
It gets creepy. There's some good jump scares. The story is good. Yeah, just
Cool.
do it. Do it, do it, do it. I mean, if you're not a first person shooter, I could see it not being great at points, but it's a lot of fun.
Cool. All right, Justin.
So mine, I may have talked about originally, because it first season came out in 2019, but the Max show called Warrior.
Yeah, you have.
But I just finished season 3, but it was based on an original series concept co-developed by Bruce Lee for a proposed TV series that ultimately was modified into the 1972 TV series Kung Fu. But this one is just bad to the bone. If you like action shows, it's fucking awesome.
Is it like on par with the raid?
Um, I would say the fight scenes, yes. There's more story to it because
Okay.
it's about San Francisco um, in the late 1800s. And so the story itself is about a martial arts prodigy from China who immigrates to San Fran. And so you've got different, like, Irish, and there's random, like, German, or you name
Okay.
it, different kind of factions, if you will.
Okay.
But it's about that main guy and his story, and he's just an absolute fucking animal with his martial arts. But season 4 it hasn't been canceled yet, but it also hasn't been renewed yet. So I'm also saying this so
No.
that more people watch it, so that they
It
will
can get
see it.
renewed.
But it's been getting a lot of success. And if you ever watched Banshee back in the day, I don't know if it's got some tie to them or what, but it's got a couple characters that are also from that show and very similar in the brutality. It's an awesome show.
Cool. Hell yeah. All right. So mine, if you had told me 6 months ago that this was about to be my pick of the week, I'd say you're fucking insane. Live action One Piece. It was good, dude. It was surprisingly good. I can't believe it was as good. It shouldn't have been as good as it was. And I see it just got renewed for season 2, thank God, which is exciting. And if you know anything about Netflix and live action anime, they never renew shit for season 2. So the fact
it's
that
Rip
always
Cowboy
awful.
Bebop. What?
yeah,
Shut up, Cowboy
right,
Bebop was awesome.
right.
It wasn't, but
Uh,
that's all right. That's all
so
right.
I
I
will
liked
say,
it.
man, like the more that I watched One Piece, the more I liked it. I will say the first episode's a little bit rough because I'm like, I don't know, this guy they picked to play Luffy, I'm not so sure. But he kind of grows into it as the episodes go, and by the final episode, he's just fantastic. Everybody was perfectly cast, dude. I love Zoro, I love Nami, Usopp, Sanji. Even was Sanji might be my least
Even
favorite.
wait a second. Come on.
Huh?
We can all agree Sanji's the best character.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the live action
I
casting.
understand.
They definitely toned him down quite a bit. Because if you've seen the anime, he's essentially Pepe Le Pew, like he's a serial rapist. But
But he's terrible with women, which is the
yes,
best
yep.
part. Like
So
it's
like,
not, he loves women, but is
right,
terrible with
yeah.
them, and it's so funny.
So in the live action show, they definitely toned him down. Like he still hits on women, like all the time, and never gets anywhere with it. But
Yeah,
it's
and that should be the way.
not quite as over the top. I mean everybody's kind of toned down a little bit, but dude, Zoro, straight badass. Like
As he
holy
should.
oh my god,
He's been a
man.
badass since he was a kid, so
Right.
like
Like,
he should be.
he's the most badass part of the show. But look, if you have ever seen or thought about
Do they
getting into
give
the
the like backstories, like
oh yeah, for sure,
the like many
100%.
things like he's trying to like go up against the
The
like
best in the
master's
world. Yeah.
his master's like
Yep.
daughter and stuff
Yeah.
like that whole thing.
Right. Yeah, it's all in there. So I will say, like, if you've ever thought about, man, I really like to get into One Piece, but there's no fucking way I'm gonna watch over 1,000 episodes of this anime. They condensed the first 62 episodes of the anime into 8 episodes on Netflix, and honestly, I don't think they really missed a beat a whole lot. So,
Hmm.
um,
Shows
I
how
thought
much
they did
filler is an anime.
right.
Yeah, but I was gonna say some of those filler stories, like they're
Yeah,
subtle, but they help build that
and
character.
like,
Like there's
granted,
a lot of like
right?
Usopp stuff, like in those first ones, where
Yeah,
it's really subtle, but like he's not like the annoying character you expect him to be.
right,
Like he's actually has like a heart, like all this stuff.
right.
And like I feel like
He
that's a subtle
grows.
thing. Yeah.
And that's not to say they don't skip over some stuff because they absolutely do. They have to. But I
Mhm.
think the core of what makes One Piece great is there. It's there. Um, like some heart wrenching stories. If you've seen the anime, Nami's backstory is fucking so sad. That's all in there.
Yeah.
And then in fact, there's a super popular scene from the anime. Uh, I don't know how to say this without spoiling, but it's in the second to last episode of the show or the live action, but where a character asks Luffy for help finally, and you know what yes. So you know what I'm talking about. They recreated that scene like essentially shot for shot, and then
Really?
there's this fucking badass moment where they're all walking together with that theme song going on. That's all on the show, dude, and it's so great. I was like, God, it better fucking be here. So, super good, super good. I really enjoyed it, and I strongly recommend. Like, if you, like I said, if you've thought about giving One Piece a shot, but you don't want to devote the time, I think this is a really good alternative. We'll see where they go in season 2 because you got to imagine their budget has to keep climbing because I mean they're on their way to find Chopper next, which is going to have to be just a straight CGI character at all times. So I don't know how
I
that's
think they
necessarily
just hire like a regular actor and put horns and like a hat on him.
reindeer hat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Please no, please God no.
it's just like a furry fursuit.
Right,
Um,
right. But yeah, I'm guessing in season 2 we're gonna meet Chopper and Nico Robin, so
That
that'll
will
be
be an
exciting.
interesting character.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So,
Just
um,
or you do it like what was that, Sweet Tooth? You do it like that, the
oh yeah,
kid
there
with
you
like
go.
the weird antlers. You could do it
There you
like
go.
that kinda.
Jesus. Um, so yeah, we'll see where it goes from here, but definitely check it out. I think it's worth it. Get through the first episode. First episode's a little janky, but it gets much better after that. So, with that, we will wrap up episode 136 of Nerdentity Crisis. We will be back next week with another episode of Nerds in Space. Um, just quick tease: tensions are building. My character Mufasa's was on the verge of death. He's back now. That was really close, but um, I think there are two characters that don't like each other very much. There's another character.
It's just a good RP though, right? Like, let's be
Trying to
real.
stay out of it. So we're having a good time with it. But anyways, check that out next week. We will be back. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye, Twitch.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.